Chapter 16. 16a. Ophelia. The first day at Tigerton Magus Academy started off well. As was any school, academic classes began with the usual reading and math exercises. The curriculum was just as advanced as one could receive from a traditional Mortalis school. We carried on with classes until lunch, where we were afforded a break to eat and mingle with other students. Raylan and Rawl were both caught up at a table full of pretty girls who were vying hard for the boys' affections. Jealousy swept over me as one of the girls reached out to touch Rawl's hair. I made my way over to their table, sitting down next to Rawl and striking up conversation. "Are we still heading to Og Manor after school today?" I asked, slightly louder than was necessary. "Alira and Fenton want us to visit. She says they have some extraordinary news." Raylan gave me a disappointed look as the girl beside me dropped her hand and walked away. "What?" I asked, knowing full well what I had done. "We'll be there," Rawl said, fixing his hair back to perfection. What news can be greater than their father returning after all this time, I wonder? "I guess we'll have to wait and see," I answered. "Here, let me help with that," I offered, fixing his part and pushing the hair from his eyes. "How has class been so far, Ophelia?" Raylan asked, pulling me aside. "You can't lay claim on Rawl, little sister," he whispered. "He must make his own friends." I rolled my eyes and pulled away from his grasp. "He is more than welcome to make his own friends, but we were friends first," I declared. "We'll see who he chooses to spend his time with." The bell sounded to return to class, leaving me no choice but to go my own way as Raylan and Rawl continued to their own classes, followed by the same group of girls. I shot them a dirty look as I left, which went unnoticed. My first lunar studies class turned out to be fairly uneventful, a typical day of reading the history of Tenebra and in which ways lunar power helped govern Aether. I was excited to get to practical usage, but I knew it would be at least a week away still. We paired off in groups to study, which I found to be a more effective way of learning than to read straight from the tomes. My partner was a girl by the name of Charisse. We studied together, quizzing one another until satisfied that the information was retained. We talked casually for a time, and I found Charisse to be quite pleasant. After study sessions were concluded, we took a short exam on the texts. I was pleased to receive a perfect score, as always. The class finished up the first day, discussing what was in store for the week, as well as an assignment to be turned in at the end of it. "Ophelia, do you want me to come over today and begin on our assignment?" Charisse asked. I welcomed the offer, but remembered our plans with Alira were already scheduled. "I can't today. We already have plans. How about tomorrow?" I countered, hoping it wouldn't deter a budding friendship. "Tomorrow sounds great. We can walk home together. I don't live far," Charisse said. I packed up my things and headed for the yard. Raylan and Rawl were already waiting for me as I arrived. We headed out to the manor, discussing the new school and friends we had made. Charisse paled in comparison to the handful of names the boys threw out. It was always much harder for me to make friends than Raylan. His energy was so carefree and easily attracted people to him. I envied this, though what I lacked in charisma, I gained in knowledge. The manor came into view before us. Marin and Griella were outside tending to the shrubs, artfully shearing them into a menagerie of birds. Alira and Fenton met us at the porch, which was ready with a basket of fruit and benches. I could tell that Alira adored hosting her friends and providing for everyone. She would make a wonderful wife and mother one day. She bounced with uncontained energy as she welcomed us. Having her father back had undoubtedly raised her spirits. Little Cadence followed her around like her own child, which furthered my image of her maternal instincts. "Come and have a seat," offered Alira. "Let me grab the drinks, and you can meet my father." She turned on her heel and sped off in a hurry. She's sure in a great mood, Fenton, I remarked. She sure is, Fenton agreed. He smiled and helped himself to another banana from the basket. Ain't seen her this happy in a long time. The boys and I unpacked our things and took a seat. Raylan wasted no time at all before following Fenton's lead and diving into the bowl of fruit. He offered Rawl a piece, but Rawl politely declined, preferring to wait on his hosts. At least one of the boys had some manners. Alira returned with a platter of lemonade and glasses for all. Her father followed just behind with Cadence. "It is a pleasure meeting my girls' friends. I'm Alistair, their father," Alistair said as he turned to shake our hands. "Garrett," he said as he turned to Rawl. "Gods, Garrett, I searched everywhere for you." He gripped Rawl on the back and pulled him into a quick embrace, then took a step back and began looking him over. We all stood there, shocked for a moment, clearly confused. "Garrett?" Alira repeated. "As in Prince Garrett from your ship?" It was Alistair's turn to be taken aback. "You haven't told them who you are, Garrett?" "I'm sorry. It was not my place, Your Majesty. Please forgive me." "I'm sorry. Do I know you?" Rawl asked, seemingly as clueless as the rest of us. "Gods, Garrett, don't you remember your betrothal voyage? The year of captivity with the mermaids? And the Selkie rescue?" Rawl sat down on the bench and took a few deep breaths. "Are you sure I am who you think, sir?" Rawl asked. "As sure as I am that I now have a false foot," declared Alistair, wriggling his foot before us. "Well, this kind of makes sense," Raylan said, with all Rawl's proper mannerisms. "Rawl," Alistair repeated. "Do you mean to tell me that you don't know who you are at all?" The five of us shook our heads. "Well, we must get you back home straight away, Garrett. Your parents and betrothed must be out of their minds with worry." "Betrothed," I declared in outrage. "But he has a life here," I pleaded. I know we have all grown quite fond of Rawl, or Garrett, but Alistair has a point. His family must be worried sick. Imagine how Mom and Dad would feel if it were one of us," Raylan supplied. "Wow," Fenton exclaimed. "A royal prince right under our noses this whole time. Can you remember anything yet?" "Gods, do we call you Your Highness and all now?" "You most certainly do, Fenton," Alistair instructed. "Memories or not, Garrett is of royal bloodline and must be addressed with title and respect." "That is not necessary. Rawl is acceptable, as I have already become adjusted to it," Rawl stated. "I'm going to need some time to take this all in. Alira, there was something that you wanted to tell us, wasn't there?" "I almost forgot," said Alira. "News sure has been exciting lately. But you all want to sit down for this one. Paisley has been put on a quest from the gods to save Aether." "What?" "She has only just turned 13 and started her training. How is she going to save Aether?" I asked. "As it turns out, she and the rest of the tutelage must collect something called the godly essence from each god to help restore balance to Aether, which, as we have all seen, is falling into chaos," Alira explained. I definitely needed to sit down with all the sudden changes swirling around. Rawl was now Prince Garrett, betrothed and probably leaving. What right did I have to lay claim on anybody who had come into their lost memories, let alone a prince of the land? Paisley was now to embark on a perilous journey that would determine the outcome of all the lands. I felt angry and jealous in both situations. It would be a dream to complete a quest for the gods, and had I performed better in the tutelage, I would be right there with Paisley on the quest. Raylan let out a low whistle. "Well, there will be much to write to Paisley about until the next Visitor's Day," he stated. "I think I'll have some of that fruit now, if I may," said Rawl, who had gone a little pale. Alira handed out the fruit and lemonade as we continued talking well into the evening. The boys and I rode home in complete silence, contemplating the uncertainties ahead.